That's what the fuck y'all be doing. Y'all be sleeping on the kid, but that's all right. Y'all gonna wake up. Y'all gonna wake up. Y'all gonna wake up, and it's all right. Y'all gonna wake up. Y'all gonna wake up. Oh, hold on. My couch might look a little disarrayed and unorthodox. Let me try to fix it up for y'all. I really don't give a damn what y'all feel about my couch and my pillows. I don't really give a damn, but I figured I'd try to act like I gave a damn, but I really don't give a damn. Is my hat on right? I feel like it is. Alright. But like I said, y'all be sleeping on me. And I don't appreciate that. Because I give y'all all my heart. I give all my love to you. And if you anyway, anyhow, howdy do, howdy day. It's the real Taylor Nicole back at it again with another episode for y'all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope y'all tuning in to a happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope y'all tuning in to a happy Friday. Trying to think. I keep changing the name of my podcast. I still like Movies with Tay, but maybe I should add like Movies with Tay Happy Friday. 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 I said Movies with Tay Happy Friday. Yeah, maybe. So I hope you guys enjoyed the past 2 weeks episodes, Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2. But to keep this Quentin Tarantino train rolling, I decided to pull from my from the category, from the catalog, my bad, from the catalog, and decided to do more Quentin Tarantino. So, without further ado, like I said, it's your host with the most, the real Taylor Nicole, and I'm bringing y'all episode 40. Ooh wee. Episode 40? Your girl been cranking them out. Episode 40? I don't think y'all heard me. I said episode 40. That's crazy. We're on episode 40. Wow. What a better way to end the month of April. By the way, I failed to mention in Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 that my birthday was also this month. I turned 30. I turned 30, guys. 040995. I turned 30. So, if you haven't watched anything in this month of April on my channel, do me a big happy birthday thing and go watch everything. Because there's 3 things that drop per week. So that means there's 12 different things that you should have watched this month. And if you haven't, do your girl a favor and go watch it. I would appreciate it. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, but without further ado, let's jump on into it. Let's get right to it. So, episode 40, we're dealing with no movie other than Pulp Fiction. This movie was requested, I think, twice, maybe 3 times. I don't know. But Pulp Fiction, we're dealing with Pulp Fiction. This movie runs for about 2 hours, 30 minutes, 34 minutes-ish. It was released back October 14th of 1994. So this was released a year before I was born. Directed by Quentin Tarantino, storyline by Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avery. You can watch this movie on Pluto TV, Hulu, Peacock, Disney Plus, Google Play Movies and TV, Apple TV, Fandango at Home, and Amazon Prime. Once again, you can watch this on Pluto TV, Hulu, Peacock, Disney Plus, Google Play Movies and TV, at Apple TV, Fandango at Home, and Amazon Prime. Now, If you do not have a subscription to none of those places, whether it's premium or really, I think with Hulu, I don't actually know. I think with either with Amazon Prime, I think you have to have premium subscription for it, but the rest of them, I think you just gotta have a subscription or pay for it. Um, or if you got people like me that got Peacock, you could just watch it for free. Yeah. Or Hulu. But anyway, um, yeah, there you go. That's where you can watch it. Now, this was a star-studded cast, and there were a few minor people who pulled up in the movie just to do a cameo. I feel like for real, I feel like Quentin Tarantino was trying to stunt in this movie because he was getting in his pick a motherfucker bag. But let's just run down the list, shall we? We got John Travolta as Vincent. We got Mr. Samuel L. Jackson as Jules. We got Uma Thurman as Mia Wallace. We got Vin Rames as Marcellus Wallace. We got Harvey Keitel as Winston, aka Wolf. We got Tim Roth as Pumpkin. Amanda Plummer as Honey Bunny. We got Quentin Tarantino as Jimmy Dimmick. We got Bruce Willis as Butch Coolidge and Christopher Walken as Captain Combs. Now this is the first time. This is the first time in history, I think, and when I say history, I mean in my podcast history, that is, that I think I've ever ran down the character listing and not really butchered anyone's name, or at least felt like I butchered anyone's name. So kudos to me, I guess. Anyway, but once again, just in case I said that kind of low, I'm gonna say it again. John Travolta as Vincent, Samuel Jackson as Jules, Uma Thurman as Mia Wallace, Vin Wames as Marcellus Wallace. I'm trying to remember what I'm looking at the screen. Harvey Keitel as Winston, aka Wolf. Tim Roth as Pumpkin. Amanda Plummer as Honey Bunny. Quentin Tarantino as Jimmy Dimmick. Bruce Willis as Butch Coolidge, and Christopher Walken as Captain Combs. Alright? Alright. So, and if it sounds like I'm talking low, I do apologize. I threw myself a dirty 30, and my voice is still recovering from that party that I threw. So if I sound a little messed up, that's probably why. I'm still recovering. But as I always like to say before I get into the second segment of the show, thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, it's not about how many of you guys necessarily tune in. It's just about me having fun with this. But I do thank everybody who at least watches and tunes in and, show your girl some love. I do appreciate it. And on top of that, if you see anybody making negative comments in the comment section, disregard them. I sometimes I'll go back and forth with people, and then sometimes I choose not to. In this new stage of my life, becoming 30, I think I'm done with going back and forth with people about negative things. I think at this point, I'm gonna start liking their comments and then just putting thanks, because I don't think it's time. I don't think it's worth it me wasting my time anymore going back and forth with people. So, it is what it is. Oh, before I continue though. Once again, make sure you guys go over to patreon.com/movies with Tay, and you can either become a free member or you can join and be a $3 member and get all of the exclusive content, and also get BTS footage from when we shoot the mini series, get the full mini series, get the full Black History episodes, get all the full video footage of everything versus having to wait week after week, including the so once again, Anguish comes to a season finale on May 7th, and then following that week another series comes into play. that's gonna come out now. This series gonna be a little bit different because this series, and I'm sorry if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it's not on there. You have to go to Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, or Threads, or YouTube to actually physically see the mini series and the Black History videos. Unfortunately, and also Patreon. Um, but anyway, so I say that to say that once Anguish goes on a season finale for about 12 weeks, you'll get a different series. And the reason why it's 12 weeks because it's 12 mini episodes. Now, there some of them may be 2 minutes, some of them may be three, some of them may be five. It kind of just depends, to be honest with you. I don't know exactly how long each one's going to be because I haven't finished editing all of them yet. But it's going to be 12 different episodes, which gives me enough time to focus on season 2 of Anguish and get it recorded right, get it done right, and bring you guys some quality work. Season 1 was a blast shooting, but I feel like season 2 is going to be better when we shoot it because I have a lot more cognites to understand how to shoot it, and I kind of have a better plan on what I'm going to do when it comes to recording the episodes, and you know, so there's a whole lot more I feel like I have um, writing on getting season 2 perfection. Now, unfortunately, because I just had this epiphany about recording, then the other miniseries is going to take place of Anguish for the next 12 weeks will probably also be in the same caliber how Anguish was, but I'm still bringing you guys content every week, 3 days a week, um, just because I still want to, make sure I keep up with what I'm doing. So there's just a little conversation before we get into talking about the film. But once again, we're talking about Pulp Fiction. So without further ado, let's get into talking about the movie. So when Pulp Fiction opens up, according to the American Heritage Dictionary, the New College edition, remember this movie came back in '94. Pulp is a soft, moist, shapeless mass of matter. That's definition 1. Definition 2 is a magazine or book containing lurid subject matter and being characteristically printed on a rough, unfinished paper. So, hence the term Pulp Fiction, right? If you don't understand it, if I remember, I'll break it down for you. And I usually say I don't care, figure it out. And I probably might say that at the end still. Anyway, so movie opens up with us meeting Honey Bunny and Pumpkin sitting at a diner, eating at a diner, talking about robberies and shit. They're talking about, robbing banks, robbing grocery stores, convenience stores, gas stations, all kind of shit, right? And Pumpkin mentions how he notices no one's ever tried to rob a restaurant. And he was just like, that's basically, that's wow. How, like, no one ever tried to rob a restaurant. So they come to this conversation while they're in the diner and decide to try to rob the diner, and it stops right there, right? So it stops at that point, and then it shoots over to us meeting Jules and Vincent, who are both sitting in a car, driving to an apartment, talking. And Vincent's telling Jules about how he's been to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam's so much better than the United States. They got so much more to offer, and like basically was saying that the United States versus the rest of the world is trash, right? So they ride into this apartment where we later find out the apartment they were going to was this cat named Brett's apartment, where one of Jules's guys is an inside man at the apartment, kind of like giving them, tea or whatever. So when they're going to handle the business at Brett's apartment, uh, Jules talks to Vincent about Vincent going to take Mia, which is Marcellus's wife, out for a date, basically. Marcellus asks Vincent to keep her company while he goes out of town to handle some business. And Vincent obliges him and says, yeah. And Jules tells Vincent about how Marcellus had this cat named Antoine thrown off a fucking building, off the back of a balcony 4 stories up, and fucked that man up real bad, right? And he's telling him this because he's like, dude, don't fuck up and do something stupid and end up like Antoine, basically. And the rumor was that Marcellus threw him over a balcony because Antoine gave Mia a foot massage, which later on down the movie we find out a little bit more about that situation. But anyway, so they go into the apartment and Jules comes in and catches Brett Marvin, some white dude that was sitting on the couch, chilling, eating burgers and shit, right? And Marvin's this black dude that Jules knows, by the way. But when they come in, Jules is talking to Brett, and he eating Buddy's burger, drinking Buddy's Sprite. You know what I'm saying? He got Buddy spooked. He got Buddy real spooked, right? So when they're going back and forth talking, if you will, Jules asks Brett, "Where's the package?" Basically, where the suitcase at? And Marvin getting ready to speak up, and Jules tell him, "Hey man, shut the fuck up! I ain't talking to you." And he asks the dude on the couch, "Where is it at?" The dude on the couch tells him where the shit is at. They Vincent grabs it, and when he grabs it, I'm gonna call it the product because we don't know what's in the case, right? We just know it makes your face light up and turn gold. But Brett Brett and they're trying to plead his case, trying to say he ain't, he wasn't on no bullshit or whatever the case may be. And while he talking, Jules popped the dude on the couch, and Brett terrified now because he like, what the hell? So he asks Jules asks Brett, what does Marcellus Wallace look like? And this fool kept saying what? So if you ain't never seen this movie, you probably have at least seen the Boondocks. And in the Boondocks, Samuel Jackson played a character in the Boondocks where Riley kept saying what, and I forget the guy's name right now, the character that Samuel Jackson played in the Boondocks, but Riley kept saying what, and he said, what? Do they speak English and what? That's where the Boondocks got that from this movie, Pulp Fiction, because when Brett kept saying what to Jules was like, why do you keep saying what? Do you speak English, motherfucker? Like, what you keep saying what for? So, um, they having that little. If I can get away with playing that clip, I'm gonna play some of it, not a lot, just a little bit of it, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And compare it to the Boondocks, I'm gonna try to play both clips if I can, if I can, because sometimes YouTube be getting me, so I don't want to get in no trouble. But anyway, so while they talking, Jules asks Brett, "Does Marcellus look like a bitch to you?" And Brett like, "What? Like what you talking about, bruh?" And that pissed Jules off, so he popped that fool in the shoulder. Pow, right? He like, does he look like a bitch? He like, no, no, no. He said, why you trying to play him like one? Like, you know what I'm saying? The Brett's still trying to plead his case, right? So, Jules recites a scripture from the Bible, and I'm not real versed in repeating those lines because I haven't seen it enough. But Jules recites the script from the Bible, Ezekiel 25:17. Chapter 25, verse 17, if you don't know what that means. Some people don't know. Um, and what he says is the path
Ezekiel 25:17.
the path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. I think I got it right. I had to play Samuel Jackson to say it with me because I think I don't know. I got it. I ain't got it broken down just yet, but basically, it took me forever to get that right. It took me forever to get that right. But anyway, moving past that. So, right after he did that quote though, he laid Brett flat. Pew pew, put him out. Um, so he gave a Bible verse and then sent him to go be with the Lord. Anyway, so the next scene we get to see is called Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife. Right. So in this scene, um, we see Marcellus at a table talking to Butch, and they talking. Marcellus is talking about Butch and his boxing career and how pretty much Butch is washed up, and he pretty much done reached his end, and he basically paid Butch off to throw off his fight as he was supposed to be knocked out in the fifth round. So while they're having their conversation, Julius and Vince walks in, and they have a conversation with Paul the bartender, and Paul the bartender finds out that Vince was taking Mrs. Marcellus Wallace, Mia Wallace, on a date, if you will. And they in there, busting his balls about that situation or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. Julius goes off to go to the bathroom or whatever, and leaves Vincent at the bar by himself. Well, Butch gets done talking to Marcellus and comes over there, says something to Vince, and they have like this little weird ass little banter, if you will. And yeah, that's that, right? So after they had that little banter, if you will, and they had like I don't know what they had going on. Um, Vince and Jules they walk over to Marcellus, and it's hard to describe because the movie. Now that I know the movie, the order the movie's supposed to be in, I want to tell it in the order it's supposed to be in, so I'm trying not to do that. But because this movie's not in order at all, none of this movie's in order. Like you get the beginning and the end and the beginning, and none of this movie's in order. But anyway, so like I said, Vince and Jules they meet up with Marcellus or whatever. But Vince goes the next. It's like a scene where Vince goes to go see his drug dealer who sells him that stuff. If you watch the movie, you know what kind of stuff he sells him, right? And they talk or whatever. The key. Vince stays at his dealer's house, gets high, whatever the case may be, and then he heads over to Mia Wallace to go pick her up. So he hides a kite, and so is she. So when he comes in there into the house, cause she left a note telling him to come into the home or whatever the case may be. When he comes in, she's on the intercom talking to him and whatever. His high ass trying to figure out where she coming from, cause yeah. So she tells him get a drink, get comfortable until she's ready to go. She comes downstairs, they get ready, and they dip right. They go to this place though. It's called Jack Rabbit Slims, and she made a comment that a man who loves Elvis would love this spot because it's basically like it's like a throwback joint, if you will. It's got like cars for tables. It's got this old school vibe, like people dressed up like Marilyn Monroe, and people dress, what I'm saying. It's got just got folks in there that's dressed up like back in the day. So Vincent didn't want to go there. He wanted to go somewhere to have a steak, and she was like, "You can have a steak here, whatever." So they go in, whatever, and they kicking it. They having this little weird connection, if you will, where they kind of awkward because you can kind of tell they kind of like each other. But Vincent terrified because he just heard what Marcellus just did to the last dude to try to get jazzy with his wife. At least is what he was told. So they sitting at the table and whatever, they kind of getting to know each other, whatever the case may be, and um this is where Mia tells Vince like that story about why Marcellus threw Antoine out the window is actually false. He didn't throw him out the window of him rubbing her feet. She was like, the only time that man ever touched my hand or touched me was when he touched my hand at my wedding. Other than that man's never touched me. So she was like, that's a lie. We don't know why he really threw that man out the window. Like nobody knows. Between Marcellus and Antoine and the people that threw him over that window, they the only ones who know why he got thrown out the window. Um, but anyway, Vince and Mia having this, they talking while smoking or whatever, and Vince finds out that he asked her about the pilot she was supposed to be that she was in, and the pilot is called the Fox Force 5, which is about a bunch of chicks, 5 chicks, and of course this like so the name stands for a bunch of foxy chicks that are forced to be reckoned with that are 5 females, basically, right? So, and she had a little joke that she was supposed to tell in every episode or every show, I guess, a run-on joke that would go through every show. But since they only got one show, she only did one joke, and Vince wanted to hear it, but she wouldn't tell him the joke. So, uh, she goes to the bathroom to freshen up before their food gets there, and she in there doing a whole line. You know what I'm saying? In the bathroom with all these ladies around, and nobody cared. Nobody cared why she was in there. Just yeah. So when she comes back, she sees that food is there, and whatever the case may be. And this is when they actually had that conversation about Marcella throwing that motherfucker out the window. But anyway, um, so the place they at, they have a contest for the best dancer that can win a trophy. So she wanted to win the trophy. So they won the trophy. They got up there. The dance they was doing was horrible, but they got up there and they did a little 1-2. They was trying to do the twist, but they twist wasn't really twisting. The twist wasn't giving twist. It was giving more of a granny move. But anyway, so when she wins the trophy, then he takes her back to the house, and Vince is in the bathroom, um, having like this little pep talk to himself because he low key he like Mia, and he really low key want to give it to Mia. You know what I'm saying? But he afraid of what Marcellus might do to him. So he in the bathroom giving himself a pep talk like, all right, we gonna you know what I'm saying, we gonna have a drink, we gonna say our goodbyes and blah blah blah. While he in there talking, Mia got on his coat and she's digging through his coat pockets and she found his stuff in his coat pockets, right? So she thinking it's the same stuff that she do because it looked the same. Well, it ain't. And she put a line down. She take the line up, and her nose start bleeding instantly. She start panicking. She realized that it wasn't what she thought it was. So her nose is bleeding, and Vince finally comes out the bathroom after sitting there taking forever to give himself a pep talk, and he realizes she's on the floor vomiting and foaming and ODing, if you will, and he rushes her to the guy he bought it from, right? And the dude he bought it from, like, don't bring her here. What the fuck wrong with you, bro? I don't want no parts of that. He like, bro, I'm bringing her here. I'm bringing her here. So he gets to the dude who sold it to him. He gets to his house, right? And dude, like, I ain't never dealt with nobody that's ODing. All I know is you supposed to give him an adrenaline shot. So he goes and gets the adrenaline stuff, and they argue back and forth about who gonna give it to her. So eventually Vince is the one who got to give it to her. So it's this long old needle that he's supposed to stab deep into her chest to penetrate her heart and give her the adrenaline shot. As soon as he did that, she came back to life, right? So they have another awkward drive back home to her house, should I say. They get there, they agree not to tell Marcellus what happened and to keep it between the two of them. So then she asks Vincent did he want to hear her joke that she told. And she tells him, and I think the joke was something along the lines of there was Daddy Tomato, Mama Tomato, and Baby Tomato, and they were walking. And I think she said that Baby Tomato was taking too long, so the daddy went back and gave him a little pinch and told him to catch up. It's corny, but I think that's what she said. I might be paraphrasing, but I think that's what the joke was. But anyway, that's the joke that she gave him. Well, we get a flashback um about Butch and when he was a kid, and the flashback is really Butch having a dream, or not a dream, but Butch having a flashback, shall I say, of when Captain Coons came to talk to him and give him a piece of a watch that belonged to his daddy, that actually belonged to his great grandfather, who gave it to his grandfather, who gave it to his daddy, and then Coons gave it to him. But basically, Butch's grandfather, his great grandfather, survived a war with this watch, so he thought it was a lucky watch, so he gave it to his son. And his son, which is Butch's great granddaddy, died in the war, and so did Butch's daddy. They both died. And Coons tells this insane story about the watch, right? And gives it to Butch, and then Butch snaps out his flashback, goes into there and have the fight. Now Butch, scandalous ass, he was supposed to throw the fight, and he didn't. Instead, he won the fight, and apparently he killed the dude that he fought. So now Marcellus wants his head. You supposed to win. You supposed to lose the fight in the 5th round, not win. Now he cost me money. But see, it was a setup. Butch was setting himself up because he knew that everybody was gonna bet on old boy to win and bet against him. So he knew the odds was better because he knew he could win, right? So he he goes ahead and goes into hiding, I guess you could say. Butch does. Because he's in this taxi cab with this chick talking about it, and she tells him that he killed the dude because he didn't even know he killed the dude. Um, he finds out from the taxi lady, and then he goes to the hotel where his chick Fabian is sitting at, and you know they have their little moment, if you will. Well, the the next part we go into is called the Gold Watch, and this is where Butch is in deep shit, but we also find out that he actually set Marcellus up because he knew he was gonna win the fight because he was planning on winning some money off of it. Um, like I said, Butch goes back to where his lady Fabian is. They have a good night but a shitty morning because Fabian forgot to grab Butch's daddy's watch. So he loses his shit on Fabian, tears up the damn hotel, and scares the shit out of her. But she was kind of pissing me off too because she kept asking too many damn questions with her stupid ass. So Butch decides he's gonna go back to the apartment, go get his watch. Well, Butch goes back to his apartment to go get his watch, and he goes, grabs the watch, doesn't notice anything out of the normal, grabs his watch, and goes to go make a Pop-Tart. Now, had Butch just left, probably wouldn't have, this, But Butch, he goes and he makes a Pop-Tart. He just happens to look over and sees this big ass gun on his countertop. So he goes over to it. He picks it up. Here's a toilet flush. Here's Vincent's ass coming out of the damn toilet. Now, this is why I said the movie's out of order. Because you're going to be like, what the hell? I thought Vincent was dead. Butch ends up killing Vincent right there in his bathroom, right? And he leaves out with the watch and everything. He's in his girl's Honda at a red light, and he sees Marcellus walking across the street. Marcellus just so happened to look in the car and noticed Butch ass in the car. So Butch realized, I got to get him before he get me. Butch runs Marcellus ass over. Hits him with the car. He hits him with the car. Another car hits Butch, and Butch gets towed up. He get bleeding everywhere, but Marcellus get knocked out. The people were waking him up. Some lady gonna tell Marcellus that if you need a witness, if you need a witness, I'll be glad to testify because that drunk bastard, something like that, right? And Marcellus is like, "What you talking about? Who?" She points over and he sees that it's Butch. This fool pulled out the gun. Everybody scattered, right? He's chasing after Butch, shooting at him and everything. He missing, but he's still dizzy from, getting hit by the car. So he's chasing him and whatever. And as he's chasing him, Butch runs into like this little pawn shop, I think is what it was. And Marcellus comes in after Butch, and Butch and him, get the tussling. And Butch knocks Marcellus on the ground, and he puts the gun to Marcellus' face, and he getting ready to shoot him, but the pawn shop owner pulls a shotgun out and like, "Hey, not today, my boy, not today." So he tells him to put the gun down and come over to him. Well, Butch, thinking the dude on some cool shit, dude hit Butch in the face with the shotgun, knocks Butch out. And next thing you know, Butch and Marcellus wake up tied up and gagged up on some freaky shit. They got some freaky Diddy shit going on in there. And I'm sorry to say Diddy because I shouldn't be saying that because I'm not a part of that bandwagon. So scratch that out. I ain't gonna be. They on some freaky shit in the old dude is he on some freaky shit in the basement of his pawn shop. He called some dude Zed, which I think Zed is like a rent-a-cop maybe. He called him and told him that they caught them a few. So, to shorten the story up, basically the pawn shop dude and some cat named Zed on some freaky deaky shit, man. And they got Butch and Marcellus tied up, right? And dude Zed doing an any mini money mo to pick which man he gonna take first. And if you ain't seen the movie, you should, because that part I was ready to skip. They was taking too long with the little freaky shit. It was kind of getting a little creepy, cause Marcellus got picked first. So Butch realized what they was getting ready to do. So Butch like, oh, they not doing me like that. So they bring some freaky dominatrix dude out of some caged up room who apparently been in there for hours. Cause this little freaky motherfucker been in there. But they bring him out and tie him to some thing and tell him to watch Butch like that's gonna do something. But Butch get free, and dude is screaming through the mask to try to let them know that Butch got free. Butch buck up, knock Buddy smooth the heck out. Now, mind you, dude was tied up to like some little pole or whatever. So when Butch knocked him out, he slumped, and his feet for some reason was like this instead of being down on the ground. They was up like this. Cause I mean, if it yeah, I don't get why his feet was like that. Now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, so Butch about to leave. Whole time they in there doing Zed in there doing Marcellus greasy. And Butch about to leave him. But Butch had to change her heart. He like, nah, let me go. So Butch he taking his sweet old time to find something to go in there. First he pick up a hammer, then he pick up a bat, then he pick up a chainsaw, then he look up and see this little sword up top. He finally grab it, he finally go in there, and Zed in there tearing Marcellus ass up. To say the least, man. I know it sound wrong, but that's what he in there doing. And um Marcellus look up and see Butch is there to save the day. And Butch, shing, sliced the old boy across the chest with it, and then hit him with a huh, right? And Marcellus ends up, getting free from the torture he was being put through, if you will. And he tell Butch to step to the side. Marcellus shot Buddy right in his groin, hit him right in it. Wow. And Butch like, all right, so I did all that. What's going on with me and you? And Marcellus like, all is forgiven. You just got two things. You got to leave town, and you can't tell nobody about what happened in here. It's between me and you. Don't tell nobody. So Butch like, cool with me. Butch get up out of there. So now we get to go to another. That's why I said this movie is kind of like crazy how it's flipping around. But then we get to this next segment called the Bonnie situation. Now, y'all remember in the beginning when I told y'all that Jules and Vincent had went to Brett's apartment, right? Well, now we go back to that same scene where they at Brett's place, and they rehashing the part where he tells them he's doing Ezekiel 25:17, and some dude is in the bathroom. He looked like Jerry Seinfeld on my soul, but dude in the bathroom scared with a whole gun. He's scared though, and he come out right after Jules smoked Brett. Dude come out the bathroom, and he points his gun at Jules and Vincent, and Buddy starts shooting, but he missed. He ain't hit neither one of them. He missed, and Jules called it a miracle, and Vincent like, nah, dude just got bad aim, and Jules is like, nah, bro, that was a miracle, and it kind of ties back to how that's why Vincent died, because Vincent went to go try to get Butch on his own, left his gun on the counter, and you know what I'm saying? So because he didn't believe in miracle and believe in faith, he died. But anyway, so Marvin is sitting in the corner scared shitless, and Vincent like, why you ain't tell us another dude was in the bathroom? And Vincent like, Marvin like, man, nigga, I don't know, I wasn't paying no attention. So they all leave, and Marvin's sitting there looking stupid, and Jules is like, come on, motherfucker, like, get your ass in there, come on, nigga. So they in the car, and they going back and forth, and they go back to this foot situation, right? And Jules is telling, Vincent, like, it ain't that big of a deal, blah, 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 blah. So Vincent turns to Marvin, which Marvin's stupid because he had that gun pointing at Marvin's face. And Marvin, if I was Marvin, I either would have moved Or I just told Vincent, hey man, put your gun down, bro. Because while Vincent is leaning over the thing, he got the gun like this and he talking to Marvin. And before Marvin can even give an answer to his question, this fool Vincent, wow, blew Marvin's face off. Now Marvin dead. So now Jules is like, I gotta call in a favor. So Jules pulls up to Jimmy's crib. And Jimmy like, bro, this is not a dead nigga storage. What is you doing? This is not a dead nigga storage, bro. You got to get that dead man, that car, and everything else out of here. What are you doing? Like this, like if my wife comes home and sees y'all like this and a dead man in it, she's gonna flip shit, and I'm gonna end up getting a divorce. You got to go. And the ironic thing is, the irony thing is, Bonnie is black, and Jimmy once again is played by Quentin Tarantino. And I know what you're thinking. Why is that ironic? If you know the story, the history behind Bonnie and Clyde, you'll know. Never mind. That's if you gotta do a history lesson on your own. Well, Jules had went to Jimmy for help, but had to call on Marcellus for even bigger help. And Marcellus called on Wolf, who's Winston, and sent Wolf to go help him. Wolf comes and he, lets him know what it needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? So, and Wolf breaks Jimmy off some money for helping him, for getting him the blankets that he requested, to change the clothes, and helping them get cleaned out, to get that blood cleaned off of him and everything, right? So Jules and Vincent, they ride with Wolf. Vincent drives Wolf's car, and Wolf drives uh, uh, Jules' car to this like junkyard spot to get it taken care of. And they separate. Vincent, Jules, the job is done with Wolf. Wolf lets him know, like, you motherfuckers live way out in the woods. I'm not driving all the way out there to take y'all home, so get a cab. See y'all later. So at this point, this is where Vince and Jules goes to get breakfast. Now we go back to that scene where Honey Bunny and Pumpkin were robbing the diner, right? But before it jumps to them robbing the diner, we actually see Jules and Vincent sitting down talking, and Jules is like, I'm getting out of this life, bro. I don't want no parts of this. Like, once we get this package to Marcellus, I'm gonna have this conversation with Marcellus and be done with it. Alright? So so what was I gonna say? Oh, so they sitting there talking, whatever, and Jules is still telling Vincent like what happened at that apartment was a miracle. And Vincent like, it was peculiar, but I'm not gonna call it a miracle. He like, you know what? I gotta go take a shit. And every time they get into a little banter, it seems like he always want to try to disengage from it or whatever and disregard it. Once again, it's probably why he got popped the way he got popped. But Vincent goes to the toilet, right? And this is where Pumpkin and Honey Bunny rob they robbed the diner, right? So they making everybody give them their wallets and everything. And he comes across Jules, Jules is sitting there chilling, minding his business. He got the wallet out and everything, and he give Buddy his wallet. And he tries to punk Marcellus for the suitcase that they was carrying. And Marcellus is like, can't even do it, player. He like come up off of it. So he like, all right, you want it? So Jules tricks him. He like, all right, you want it? Because he know what's in that suitcase. He know what's in there. We don't know, but he know. So he go ahead and he opened it. He grab it, and Pumpkin like, all right, bro, open it. So he opened it, and Pumpkin is mesmerized by what he see, which is how Jules gets him off guard. Jules catching him off guard. Now Honey Bunny panicking because our man caught up. He hemmed up and got him panicking. Got him panicking. Got her panicking. She don't know what to do. So he tell him, sit your ass down. Now, Jules had this whole conversation with Pumpkin. You go watch the movie and find out everything that was said. And in the end, Vincent finally comes out the bathroom. He points his gun at Honey Bunny, make her panic. And Jules is like, calm down, we good. If I could find the scene of when she was panicking, I'm gonna play it just so y'all can see how she was reacting, because it was funny as hell. She was real life panicking, bro. She deserve an award for her acting, because I ain't gonna lie, that she had me cracking up. But in the end, Jules gives uh Pumpkin the $1,500 that's in his wallet. He gives him the $1,500, tells him, take the $1,500, but give me my wallet though. But take the $1,500 and you and your bitch you dip out. And everything y'all got in that bag is a big score for y'all. Take it and get the fuck out of here. Or I'm gonna put two in you. But you're not getting a suitcase. You're not getting a suitcase. So he like, all right, bet. He get the money. Vincent like, bro, what are you doing? Like, don't get this fool $1,500. Put a cap in him. And this when Honey Bunny was like, yo, no. Like she started tripping. And Jules is like, yo, everything cool. It's cool. He can take the money. They can go. So that's what they do. They take the money. They go. And then Jules and Vincent, they take the suitcase and they go. And that's pretty much how the movie ends. So the movie was told in so many different orders for a reason because it all tied back into each other. And it kind of made sense about the way that they did it. But that's basically how the movie ends. That's the end. It shows Vincent and Jules walking out of the diner. Even though we know even though we know Vincent is dead, we know Vincent got killed. But because the movie showed us the ending, showed us the middle. I guess you could say the middle. It showed us the middle of the movie in the beginning, and in the middle of the movie in the end as well. If that makes sense. But anyway, for my notes. So first thing first in the notes is they was playing them slaps in this movie, especially in the beginning. They had Kool in the Gang, Jungle Boogie going, Jungle Boogie, meow, meow. They had some slaps playing, and a couple other songs that they was playing. Also, I noticed in the movie they kept saying nigga, Nigga, but in the subtitles they used a hard R. They used a hard R in the subtitles. And I'm like, that's not what they saying. And I know in today's time, y'all know how to translate the subtitles to correct like Quentin Tarantino was using a hard R when he was asking Samuel L. Jackson, does his garage say dead nigga storage? Because he used a hard R. He used a hard R, but Samuel Jackson was saying Nigga, and they kept putting Nigger. They kept using a hard R, and I'm like, that's not what he's saying. Like, what are we doing here? Fix the subtitles, Peacock. Fix the subtitles, cause he sure wasn't saying the hard R. Just saying. Like I said earlier in the pod, that scene in the Boondocks, the what does Marcellus look like part. I'm gonna play it again just in case, like play a little bit more of it for y'all as well because I played a little bit in the beginning. And I'm gonna play a little bit here as well. But one thing I'm curious of. Oh, before I jump to what I'm curious of, I thought it was pretty interesting because Quentin Tarantino was part of the story writer for this, right? And I think it's crazy how he likes to use that N word a lot. He likes to use the word nigga a lot. And then you could tell he like it when black people call him that because in the movie, Marcellus and Jules was calling they white friends, they niggas, my nigga, you my nigga. They kept saying, and I'm like, Quentin, somebody must say that to Quentin Tarantino a lot. So he must feel compelled to put it in the story because every movie that Quentin Tarantino has done, except for Kill Bill, if it's black people in it, especially black men in it, they using that word. Oh, they using it. Django, Hateful Eight, Pulp Fiction. It's another movie I can't think of right now, but he like to use that word. I'm starting to think people be calling Quentin that, and Quentin like, yeah, this is my time to put it in the movie. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but what I was gonna say is what is kind of interesting to me, or that piques my interest, is in films. How do they? Because if you didn't figure it out by now, Vincent's choice of drug was heroin, and in the movie when Vincent was shooting up his heroin, they made it look realistic. They got it down to the science, if you will. Like Vincent would poke his arm with the needle, push it in and draw out a little bit of his blood and then shoot it back in. From my understanding, I've never done it before, but from what I learned in school about drugs and about, people who use them, is that's what they do to get a stronger and better high and to put it back in their bloodstream faster, I guess. And I was like, I wonder how they shoot that to make it look real. Cause I'm pretty sure he wasn't shooting up on in the movie for real. So I'm curious to how they made it look real. Um, I thought it, and it might be just me, but Mia and Vincent, two trifling individuals. When Mia ordered her burger and Vincent ordered his steak, they both talking about some make it bloody. That's trifling. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? Don't nobody want that. And then they both had this little weird thing where they kept trying to play like they ain't really like each other. Like y'all like each other. And like I said, argue with your mama, but that dancing, they twist was not twisting. They dance was just not dancing for me. Um, I have heard from my fiance and also from other people that um when Uma Thurman's character Mia uh mentioned that she was in a pilot, that I guess it was supposed to be her, I guess, referring to Kill Bill. I kind of can see the comparison, but at the same time, I don't see the comparison. Because, see, Kill Bill had four women and two dudes in it, right? And the Foxy Force 5 was just five women. Now, granted, she did list off the same categorized women that was supposed to be portrayed in in Fox Force 5. She did mention some women that was the same thing as in Kill Bill. Like in Kill Bill, you had a black one, you had an Asian one, you had two white ones, right? But one of the white ones was supposed to be like a French lady almost, right? So I guess they kind of close, but no cigar. Anyway, um, I still think it's crazy, and like I said, maybe it's because it was supposed to be set back, I think in the 80s or 70s or something like that, maybe even the 90s. But the point is, the fact that she was in there doing coke in front of all them women while they all in the mirror trying to get together, powder their nose and everything, she really was in there powdering her nose, and none of them ladies thought nothing of it. They minded their business. They was in there trying to get fly, get cute, while she over there doing lines and shit, and walked out like nothing happened. And why they always go to their houses and leave their doors open in movies? Like in drug movies and gangster movies, you ever notice a motherfucker go in their house? If I'm not mistaken, I think it happened to Scarface. Scarface went in his house, left his whole motherfucking front door open. Like, why do y'all do that? Go home and leave your door open. Why? Two, how was Vincent's car still drivable after he ran it into his drug dealer's house trying to rush and get Mia help? How? Vin Rames, if you ever see this, I love you, but you be playing some real sketchy characters. Okay? You did your thing in Holiday Heart though. But you be playing some real sketchy characters. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I love Quentin Tarantino. I really do. But me and him would have had to discuss about the ball gag and the scene of dude doing what he was doing. We would have discussed that. You would have had to do something different. Cause I, I know it's a movie, but nah, bro. You'd had to put a dummy there. It wouldn't have been me. Put a stunt double there, but it wouldn't have been me bent over on that thing like that. Not being violated by no grown man. No sir. Um, let's talk about Vincent real quick. Vincent was a complete fuck up. Let's be clear. Vincent was a complete fuck up. Let's run down his fuck up categories, all right? Because it don't make it now it makes sense why he ended up in all the situations he ended up in and why he ended up getting killed, because he's a fuck up. His first fuck up, for example, Mia ODing. because you left your heroin in your coat and you gave her your coat knowing that was in there, knowing that she does drugs, and she would have automatically assumed that was coke in your jacket. You should have left that shit in your car or kept it in your regular coat pocket so she didn't get a hold to it. And then you took forever to go. Like, he just takes forever to do a lot of shit. He just does. He took forever to come back from the bathroom when Jules was out there with the robber people. He took forever to come out of the bathroom when Mia was ODing. And then, on top of that, he killed Marvin for no reason. All because he pointed. Why would you point your gun at somebody? For what? Vincent was a complete fuck up. Complete. He speak out of turn when he shouldn't be speaking out of turn. For example, when Wolf gave them simple instructions, he want to get all technical and talking about something. You could say please, motherfucker. I'm here to save your ass, and you gonna ask me to say please? I'm here to save you. You ain't here to save me. I'm here to save you because of something you did. What the hell? 2. What? I thought they said Marvin didn't have a head. In the movie, when they was putting all the stuff in the trunk, Marvin still had his head. I was confused. Um. Ooh, here's another thing. Quentin Tarantino has a history of telling stories out of order. Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. He has a history of telling stories out of order. And for some reason, he still manages to get it to tie all back in together. And the movie just flows so seamlessly. You don't even notice it until you notice it. Like, when you're really watching these movies, you don't really realize that he flips shit around on you until you notice it. Like, I didn't realize that this movie was being told out of order until Vincent got killed. And I was like, wait a minute. This movie being told out of order. And it didn't dawn on me until then. And then no, actually, you know what? It dawned on me way before then, but I just assumed that it was one of those give you quick early flashbacks, but I didn't know the whole movie was going to be told out of order almost. Because I kind of noticed it because I remember the scene at the diner, and I knew that happened. So that's what piqued my interest when I realized that the movie jumped straight from that him sticking the place up to Vincent and Jules in the car talking together. And this whole time, this is how I knew I needed to watch this movie again as an adult, because this whole time as a kid, I hella thought that Jules and Vincent were dirty cops. This whole time. Up until I watched it for this episode, I didn't realize that they weren't dirty cops. They were henchmen for Marcellus. And I was like, this whole time, I always thought that these two were police. That's how I knew I needed to rewatch the movie and watch it in its entirety, because I used to watch this movie in pieces and never watched the full thing. So I never really understood the full movie. Now that I have, I realized, yeah, like, that it is what it is. Jules' wallet really did say bad motherfucker, by the way. I thought that was dope as hell that his wallet really said bad motherfucker. Because when he told Pumpkin to get his wallet out of that bag, he asked him which one it was. He said the one that say bad motherfucker. And it really said bad motherfucker on it. But if you haven't guessed, you know this is getting a nice high rating. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Reason why I get a 9 out of 10, and I'm just being picky with it. It's a great movie, a very great movie. But because we don't know what's in that damn suitcase. Tell me what's in the suitcase and I might give you a 10 out of 10. Quentin Tarantino, what was in the damn suitcase? What was in it? Was it Marcellus's heart? Was it his soul? Was it some type of precious metal? What was in that damn suitcase? What was in it? Huh? Like, what was in it? But on the flip side, I gave it a 9 out of 10 because the way the story was told in the formality that it was told in, but for it to be told in bits and pieces and section, the first part really was told number three, and number three was told as number one, and number two was told as number four. Like the way that the movie was told, and for it to still tie all back in together and still make sense and still be easy to follow and still be, you know, easy to understand, and to be able to replace the movie back into pieces. Because if I had to tell this movie in chronological order, it'll basically start out with uh Jules and Marcellus go pick up the package from Brett. They kill Brett. Marvin gets his head blown off because of Vincent. They go to Jimmy to get help. Jimmy helps him out by letting him call Wolf. Wolf helps him out, gets everything they need to do. They go to the diner where Bunny and Pumpkin are having, where Bunny and Pumpkin are having a conversation about robbery. They try to rob the joint, and um, Jules shuts that shit down, lets him still walk away with everybody stuck because he still technically robbed the joint. Jules and Vincent go see uh Marcellus, who's trying to pay Butch to throw the fight, and they give Marcellus the package, and Jules, not Jules, Vincent takes Mia out for a date. They kick it, whatever. He almost killed her. She almost OD'd. Boom, bada bing. Then Butch wins the fight. Now Marcellus sigs Jules, Vincent, and everybody else on Butch's ass. Uh, Vincent goes to go try to find Butch on his own. Butch uh, kills Vincent and damn near killed Marcellus. Butch saves Marcellus's ass, and Butch leaves and skips town. That's really how the movie went. If I told it in order, that's really how it should have ended. Is with Butch leaving town. That's how the movie really should have ended. But I like the way it was told. Even though it was told out of order, I like the way it was told. Because it kind of make you think, and it kind of make you have to put the pieces together. When he told it the way he told it, it made you have to go put the pieces together. That's what I liked about it. Is you had to go back, and if you didn't remember, this is how you knew if you knew to remember the movie or watch the movie, because then you're able to go back and put the pieces to the puzzle back together. And just like I just did it, the same way I just put it back in chronological order. That's what and I might have skipped some details and left some things out, but that's basically the beginning to the end. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. 9 out of 10. It's a great movie. Once again, I want to thank everybody for viewing, for watching, tuning in, being here with your girl. Happy Friday. Hope y'all stay blessed and highly favored. By the time you're seeing this, I would have already had my Dirty 30 birthday party, and I already would have been out on my vacation and back. So, happy belated birthday to me. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Once again, it's your host with the most, the real Taylor Nicole. It's always gonna bring y'all that hot fire. Be prepared for May, cause I got some shit lined up in May. I got a little bit of old school, a little bit of new, and well, really, yeah. I think one of the movies is really. I'm gonna just say this: May is gonna be black. It's gonna be black, and then June gonna be black. July black. And then in August is my first year. It's gonna be my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. So, I'm shooting for 500 subscribers by the end of this year. I know we can do it. I know y'all could tell a friend to tell a friend to come and tell a friend to come watch a friend. Talk about a podcast, doing mini series, doing Black History episodes. I know y'all could do it for you, girl. Make it happen. Make it happen, Captain. Share this on all your platforms. If you're watching it on YouTube, share it on every platform you got. I don't care. Click the share button and send it out there. If you're listening on Apple Podcasting, click the share button. Send it to somebody, and if you got an iPhone, send it to somebody. You got an iPad, send it to somebody. If you're listening on Spotify, send it to somebody. Hit that button. Hit it. It takes two to make the thing go right. Hit it. You hear me? Hit it. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe for your girl. I really appreciate all the love. Thank y'all. Be peaceful. Argue with your mama. I'm out.